Hello, hello, hello. Morning, and now how's it going, man? I love this. You are always the first in the chat. You're the first one to say good morning. I will not forget that, my friend. I will not forget that. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. How's it going with you, man? How's trading? Let's just have a quick look here, make sure everything is set up. There is a decent chance that I will not be trading today, but I will be calling out stuff. Don't you worry, guys. But a decent chance I will not be trading because I have not slept in 2 days. More than 48 hours I have not slept. I have been working on a very big project here. So if you guys see, look, I'm still wearing the same shirt from the last stream. But yeah, like it's been I'm pretty tired, and I have been saying stupid things all day at work. So yeah, Omega Line, morning Omega, how's it going, my good friend? And now, whoa, 178%. Nice, excellent. That is huge, my man. Good job, good job, good job. Nice. Well, anyway, guys, so we had PPI come out, and PPI was pretty bad, actually. So expectations were what? I think we had zero point 0.2 and expectations came in at 0.4. That is quite a bit high. But the thing is here, we're not seeing a big drop as you would expect, because usually PPI follows CPI. Usually, like, you don't see a big disparity between these two. But we're not getting a big drop here so far. So either people are waiting for the FMOC minutes, which honestly I don't know like what they're expecting to see in it. Like, I'm sure, yeah, we can glean some information, but these are the minutes from the last meeting, so it's not like the end of the world here. I don't think we'll gather like life-changing information. Maybe, we'll see. Maybe people are just being a little bit careful. We do have a bear flag forming here, so maybe the market slowly dies across the day. But just so you guys know, like from a technical standpoint, we're not bearish yet. So the bearish part came before the the PPI, where we failed to break this resistance line that we had yesterday. We failed to break this 3 times. So initially we broke through and fell back, right? And we had this huge big drop here because of the Bank of England comments. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points. This is the 52-week low, right? And we rejected off the 52-week low 4 times yesterday and the day before yesterday, which was quite bullish. And then pre-market and yesterday we tried to break through this resistance here, but we were unable. We tried multiple times and we failed, and then we got the PPI numbers and it just absolutely died, right? So good morning, Angelique, how's it going? So yeah, I mean, like from a technical standpoint, we seem to be holding this line here. If you guys can see, I'll just draw it so you guys can have a better look here. Yeah, look, we're pretty much hanging around this line here. We got a nice bear flag forming here. So this is the pole and this is the flag, right? So it could be preparing for the worst. We don't know yet. It's the chart is not really telling us that much. This seems to be your average choppy day here so far, right? So let's see what comes of it, right? So I actually don't know when the meeting FMOC minutes are coming out. Does anyone know? Let's see here, FMOC minutes. PPI FMOC minutes. Oh, that's still way far down the day. It's 2 p.m. Okay, we don't really have to worry about it for now. Yeah, it could be the market is just like it's waiting for the minutes for some reason. Honestly, I don't see what information we could glean from it, but seems for some reason maybe someone knows something, you know. We could be getting a disparity here. We could be seeing, you know, a good CPI read tomorrow. Who knows, man? But like, what we're gonna do is that we're just gonna play the chart. We're gonna play the day. We're not gonna get swayed one way or the other. But PPI is, like we said, we'll always look for confirmation, guys. So this is our first confirmation here. We be leaning more bearish than we are bullish, right? Because PPI is bad, so stands to reason that CPI will also be bad. Okay. So that being said, from a technical standpoint here, I would look for a break of this line, right? And a break of this line here gives me a nice put scalp all the way down to the 52-week slow here, and of course the 52-week slow get a break. You know, we lose that, we can expect a huge drop off. Jay Smooth, morning, man. We missed you yesterday. How's it going? All right, so what do we have tomorrow here, guys? We have CPI and we have the job reports, the initial job claims. That's going to be very, very important because Jay Powell said last meeting that this is job numbers is something that he is keeping a very close eye on. Okay, so it's very, very important. Are you playing any earnings today? Good morning to you, Osby. How's it going, my friend? We already have our plays for this week. So I got yesterday the XLF puts. I got 2 of them so far. Might add some more if we see a little pump here. But yeah, we have 5 banks reporting this Friday. So I'm just playing the XLF, which is the Finance SPY Select Fund, right? Which is an ETF that covers the finance sector. So I'm just playing the broad ETF here. I got puts, so I expect a miss on most of them, but we'll see. So far I have small size. I think I have $100 worth. We got them yesterday together. I also have Netflix, but this is still next week, not this week. But these are the plays I have here so far. So let's go through our list here. We have 2 minutes till the open, but let's just quickly go through our plays first and let's see how they're doing. So Netflix gave back all the gains that it just clawed back yesterday. It rejected here at this line that we drew and just fell back, which is, you know, not very good, but not very bad either. Again, this is an earnings play, so I would not be worried as long as we're still bullish on the play. But definitely I'm gonna keep an eye on this, right? I want to make sure it does not break any major levels. In this case, it does not make sense to hold it anymore, right? We also got AMD leaps for January. So again, not something I would really look into specifically, but just let's have a quick look and let's see how the chart is just doing overall, right? So far AMD perfectly going along with our predictions, like we said, when it first dropped here. So that was like 3 days ago. Like I said, we can expect consolidation in this area, and so far we are getting consolidation in this area. Now, in order for us to get in the safe zone, I want to see a break and hold of this line, because a break of this line here can signal more that for the stock. I think the next major support line here is 48. That's still a $10 drop, so that's not nothing, right? So we want to keep an eye on this one as well. We want to make sure that our supports hold. We don't need to monitor the stock all the time, but it's nice just to keep an eye on it, make sure it does not break any major levels. So our plays from yesterday were AMD, Netflix, and we have the market open here. So let's jump into SPY and see what it has in store for us today, right? So we have, now remember guys, see this level that we have the double bottom here. This is why we got this this pop, you know, in the pre-market. Right, this double bottom here is the 52-week low, so this is definitely a level I want to keep an eye on 100% for sure. Now it's kind of retesting this support line from yesterday, right? So our goal here is we want to see A, does the bear flag play out, and B, how's the market gonna react to the PPI news, right? Because like I said, like the expectations mostly is that if PPI is bad, CPI should also be bad, right? So so far we're not seeing sell everything, you know, where the market is about to die reaction. As a matter of fact, we are still in yesterday's range, right? So if we're talking like long trend here, we're still consolidating, we're still in the chop area. Nothing really happened here, right? So in order for me to truly see people freaking out, I want to see the 52-week lows get taken out properly this time, not like this, not like yesterday. I want to see it properly get taken out. And just FYI guys, these were disastrous comments by the Bank of England, and we still could not break the 52-week lows. We had bad PPI numbers come out, we still could not break the 52-week lows. So far 52-week lows have been holding steadily, right? And this is why we got calls, if you guys remember yesterday, this is why we got calls here. Like I said, 52-week lows, very huge major support line, not something that, you know, quickly breaks off like that. It's gonna take a few tries. So what I want to know today is that will today be the day, you know, where it's not gonna take you know, like it's gonna take one try and it just takes it out. We'll see, right? But so far yeah, so far so good, you know. Looks bearish, right? Again, this is just people who, when the market opened, you know, they saw like a pretty bad pre-market, they're just freaking out, they're just selling, right? So we can expect this to go down, and we'll probably see some rejection at some point here. Could be here, could fall a little bit low, retest the 52-week lows, right? So if it does retest the 52-week lows, this is an extremely important level, right? I cannot stress enough on how important the 52-week lows are. We tested it twice yesterday, could not put a dent on it. If you guys look here at this support line, to the penny, right? So immediately when we hit the 52-week lows, bulls stepped in immediately, right? So let's have a look here at our, let's see if we can buy something. Again, I really don't want to be trading today. For you guys who joined late, I don't want to be trading today because I haven't slept in 2 days. I don't want to be making, you know, any stupid decisions. But that being said, you know, if we see an obvious opportunity, I see no reason why we should not jump in, right? So we'll just keep an eye on everything here, and, you know, let the market do its thing, right? So far, nice big juicy drop here. This looks that's a beautiful bar. That's a beautiful drop right here, right? So if you guys were holding puts from yesterday, right, you just made some very nice decent money here, right? So congrats if you did. Well, and for us, congrats, because we had XLF puts, right? So XLF puts probably are, you know, starting to make a little money here, right? We did not buy a lot, or at least I did not buy a lot, but they should be making some nice money here, right? Netflix, okay, finally Netflix starting to beast again. This is the Netflix we know. This is the Netflix we love, right? This is the Netflix that we want to see. The one that when the market is going down, it just does not care. It does not give a fuck. It just keeps going up, right? Well done, Netflix. Good job. Let's go, right? So in an ideal world, we want to see the market go down and Netflix just blast. Not very realistic, but hey, you know, a guy can dream, right? A guy can dream. So what else do we have here? What's AMD doing? It's dropping with the market. That's to be expected. Not that much, but still dropping. So back to SPY. So SPY couldn't make it all the way actually to the 52-week lows. It's just hanging out here. I think today is probably going to be a major chop day at the very least to the FMOC meetings. Minute, sorry, not meeting. There is no meeting today. They're just minutes from the previous meeting, right? So it would stand to reason, guys, that we get a very choppy day today, right? So today I would recommend, our strategy when it comes to chop. See green, you get out, you take your money and you run, because look at this. Like, if you are in puts and you were expecting more that, you probably just lost all your gains, right? All your gains probably just poof disappeared, right? Look at this huge buy right there. So see green, guys, get out. Okay, this is my recommendation for you. Don't just hold on to something. Trim, at the very least, trim, right? Now this is financial advice. You guys can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, if I was in something, this is what I'd be doing right now. I'm gonna see my green. I'm at the very least gonna place a very tight stop loss. As for new entries for today, I'm not seeing anything so far. We're still chopping, right? Nothing really presenting itself here, right? We are getting some nice bullish momentum. We're seeing some nice reversal here. So let's see if something will come out of this. Could possibly go to test the 21 MA and the 50 MA and 200 MA. They're all like lumped in here together. Would make sense, honestly, to test these lines and before going either down or just breaking through and going up. Your background music takes your voice over. Yeah, I know how to fix that. Hold on. Is this better? I think this should make things better. Let me know if it's not, or if it solved the issue. Nice. Thank you, Angelique. All right, so nice big fat green handle here. Yeah, looks like it's gonna do what we expected. Looks like it wants to test that 50 MA, 20 MA. With them crossing over here, right? It's too juicy for for this not to be tested. And look at this huge Shrek deck of candle, big candle here, right? Bulls like immediately stepping in, right? Again, not what you expect to see on a PPI miss, honestly. But yeah, important to keep in mind, food actually, right? And this might be a possible reason why we're not seeing a big drop, is because food and similar commodities, they actually came in line, right? They came in expectations. It was expected to be what I think. Everything excluding food came in line. So it was, I think, 0.3 expected, and we got 0.3 if I remember correctly. So this could be an indicator for tomorrow, right? This could be an indicator that we might get a number that for CPI that is in line with our expectations. So this could be a possible reason here. This of course could be a fake out, or we can just chop till the end of the day. I don't know. All I know is I want this line to get taken out, or I want this line to get taken out. Anything in between is just pure chop here, right? Anything in between does not really make much sense to me. If you're gonna buy something in here, you see green, you get out, whether it's a put or a call. Otherwise, you're gonna get chopped. Again, if you were on calls from yesterday, you're probably pretty happy. You're like, it's gonna go take out the 52-way close, and bam, right? Bulls stole your lunch money. They took your meal ticket, and now you're just wishing you have sold, right? So again, let me just remind you of this. Look at the trend here: chop, right? And you get all these big moves in between, which are excellent for scalping, by the way. This is if you're a swing trader, this is hell for you. But if you are a day trader, then this is heaven, right? Look at this. You get in here, you get out here. You get in here, you get out here, right? It's perfect, right? It's perfect if you're a day trader, right? Jesmo said, not my lunch money. Well, yeah, you're in lunch money, dude. This is why you scalp. This is why you scalp, right? We don't want the evil bulls to take our money. Can you explain how scalping works? All right, so Mr. Cool Kid, scalping is pretty much if you get in a position, whether it's a call or a put or whatever it is, and you are looking for a small gain and you exit very quickly, right? Usually within a few minutes, okay? So basically a scalp would for example here, right? So let's say, you know, I have a magic a crystal ball, so I would get in here in this candle, and then I would get out of here. So why would I get here at the end of this candle? I would get here at the beginning of this candle because I would have seen a rejection at this level here, right? So it might tell me that the next candle might open green. And why would I get out here? Because it just hit the MAs. So I'm not interested when I'm scalping in future moves. I just got a decent move here. I take my money, I am out. I'm not in the stock for a long time, right? So a day trade could be a few hours, maybe even, but a scalp, you're in, you're out quick, usually within a few minutes. Okay, so hopefully that explains it, Mr. Cool Kid. If not, let me know and I'll make it more clear, and I'll make it clearer. Okay, so that being said here, SPY continuing its tradition makes sense. Awesome. Yeah, SPY continuing its tradition of chop, right? So it does seem like we're gonna have one of those boring days, so far at least, right? I am not very thrilled with these two big candles here under the MAs. Not a good look, honestly. So let's have a look at the volume here. And like I said, guys, when we're looking at the morning volume, what do? We compare today's volume to the open of the previous days or the day before it, right? And we can see here, this volume, you can use this line as a reference because I almost touched this line here. So in comparison, you guys see today we had at the open a lot more volume than the last few days. Now, of course, this can be very easily contributed to, you know, people freaking out, you know, because PPI numbers came in bad, and you know, market opens and they immediately just dump their positions, which could explain, by the way, why we had this a big green candle here, because people, usually scalpers, day traders, you know, people at the open will freak out without even waiting to see what happens, and so they just, go in and buy and scalp, and this is why you're seeing a rejection here so far, right? So would I call this a bull flag? No. What would I call this? Nothing. I'll call this chop. I would just be waiting here, right? This is nothing. We're under the 50 MA, we're under the 21 MA, we're under 200 MA. If anything, this is bearish actually, right? But at the same time, I am above my support here. I have a candle open above this support, right? And we have big wicks here towards the upside, right, with a small body. So this tells me it's bullish. So this is textbook chop so far. So what do I want here, right? I want either clearing of these MAs, right, which is what the bulls are trying to do, or I want to see a fail and go back for a proper test at the 52-week lows, right? In an ideal universe, I want the 360 level, 0.8 to get taken out, or the 355.7 level to get taken out. Walter says, glad I did not hold puts yesterday. Would have had my lunch money taken. Well, dude, if you actually had puts yesterday and you waited for this to drop at the open and just sold out, you would not have had anything taken from you. If anything, you would have taken some bulls lunch money, right? So it's, again, remember, we've been talking about this for a long time, guys, and once we identify a channel, right, we can expect the stock to stay in a channel for a couple of days, and once we see that happening, we just quickly sell in and out, right? So remember last week, right, I kept talking about the channel, and look at this again. 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, right? It stayed 3 days in this channel, right? So the SPY and the market generally has been doing this for a long time. And again, here we were inside this channel, right? And then we got an impulsive move up, and then channel, impulsive move down, and right now we're in a channel, right? Before it, we had an impulsive move down, and then we're in channel for 1, 2, 3 days, right? And on the 4th day, we started the impulsive move down. Before it, we had an impulsive move down, and you guessed it, 1, 2, 3 days, right? Impulsive move down. So this is what the market has been doing for the past few months, right? Remember, guys, we're talking about this. This is basically the market trend so far, right? So you could make a lot of money understanding this simple concept here, right? So how long have we been in this channel here? 1, 2, and today is the 3rd day, right? So I can expect today to be either a chop day, or B, the start of an impulsive move, right? Either up or down, right? So how do I know which way it goes? I want to see let's say it's to the upside, right? I want to see this, but proper. I want to see breakthrough, go back for a retest, right? And then bounce off. We can go for another retest, bounce. Then unfortunately we had the stupid Bank of England giving us shit news and, you know, just killed the thing. But ideally we would have a bounce here and then it would just, you know, keep going off. This is when I know the channel is no longer in effect and is done. And vice versa, right? I want to see a break of the lows here, a possible retest, consolidation under this support line here, and then more that, right? And okay, look at here, we cleared the 50 MA, we cleared the 21 MA, we went for the 200 MA test, and big fat rejection here on 200 MA. Why? Because SPY likes to chop, right? So SPY holding true to our prediction so far of you know, boring chop day, right? Which like I said, you know, as long as we're in here, you can go in for some quick nibbles, right? If you have a decently sized account and you want to take small positions, you know, play these candles, right? That's not a bad idea. What do we know about the MAs? What I always say about the MAs is that MAs will always be tested and retested. It's just in their blood, it's in their DNA. They cannot help it, right? This is how they were programmed to function. So we saw here a test at the 200 MA fail. Why? Because the 50 MA was cleared immediately. It was not retested, right? And now we're seeing rejection at the 50 MA and 200 MA, and we're just going back down here so far, right? So what is it going to do? Is it going to keep going down more, or is it going to go back and retest the 50 MA and 200 MA, right? So we're going to have to see, okay? But like I said, when we're clearing MAs, wait for the retest. When we're clearing major resistance and supports, wait for the retest. It looks sometimes like it might not happen, but 99% of the time it will happen, right? So all right, so are we looking for bearish, bullish plays here? For me, I'm not looking for anything yet. 200 MA rejection is a bearish sign though, especially this way with a wick above the 200 MA. That's pretty damn bearish, right? 200 MA in all time frames, of course, more bigger time frames than smaller frames, but it is a very key important level to look at. The majority of traders use it, so it's a very, very, very important line here. And I have a wick above my 200 MA, and we can see here, this, by the way, guys, is called a hard rejection, what we're seeing here. So a rejection will be just like a bounce and it will stay here down for a little bit. But if I get an immediate big candle on the first test, this is a hard reject. And a hard reject, right, is usually not a good sign, right? A 50-50 chance of recovering from a hard reject or going for another retest. So so far it's even struggling to gain back the 21 MA and the 50 MA that it cleared, right? So if this candle closes below here, right, we can expect the next candle open to go down more, right? So let's watch, let's see what happens, right? And let's see here. Walter says, love the live stream, you're the man, Ash. Gotta get back to work, good luck today. Dude, thank you so much for the kind words. I love you right back, and kill it at work, man. Make that money, come back and trade. And thank you so much for joining us, for the time you did and for all your support. Appreciate it, my friend, appreciate it. All right, so let's see what the SPY is gonna do here today. We're just waiting for this candle. We want to see if we get a close under the MAs or not. Bulls are really trying here, but the bears are putting up a good fight. And if you look at the volume here, what do we see here? The volume is decreasing steadily, right? So even we are still getting big candles, but realistically the volume is steadily decreasing more and more, right? So we're gonna start getting a lot less impulsive moves here, right, while we wait for the market to make up its mind, right? All right, this candle, they should have like a timer on the candles. I don't know, maybe some other brokers do, but it would be nice to know, like, because this is a 5-minute candle, so I know it elapses in 5 minutes, but it would be nice here to show me, like, well, how many minutes are left, because here it does tell you like this candle itself is down 26%, which is nice. But it would be very cool if it tells me, like, you know, a little timer here, right? Right. So closed under the MAs, closed under the 21 MA, closed under the 51 MA. So this is a little bit bearish here. It's going back for the retest of the 21 MA. Let's see what it does. Do we have a bull flag forming here? We kind of have a bull flag forming here, guys, a little bit. Pull and flag. Yeah, we do have a little bit of a bull flag forming here, so we're gonna wait and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, like, it does not seem like it's gonna play out, but we'll see, right? We have here another rejection of the 21 MA. Like I said, if it closes under, more often than not the next candle will just open down. This almost always happens, right? Does not mean, as you guys can see, like it will not just go up more, but if you're looking for a small scalp, you know, a quick in and out, wait for a close under the 200 MA and then buy the open of the next candle and sell after it moves a little bit down, because almost always will move a little bit down. So this is a little trick you can make a little bit of money off it, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, right? So I have a baby account, I have a cash account, I cannot do this kind of stuff, unfortunately, right? So but maybe, you know, someone can, I can make some nice money off this. All right, we're still retesting 21 MA here. Look at this doji candle, very wicky on the way up, wicky on the way down. Wicky tricky here, wicky tricky wicky, not giving us any direction, not giving us any suggestion on what it wants to do. So SPY, you just wait here for a second and we're gonna go have a quick look at the VIX, right? So remember our line from yesterday. What did we say, right? This is the line, whoops, we said this is the line that had been tested once, twice, thrice, and 4 times and failed, right? And yesterday we broke through it, failed, fell back up, but of course we got saved by the Bank of England, right? And today it opened up, gapped up here right above it, and you can see here it's currently testing this line again. Now it broke through the resistance and it's testing it as support now. The buyers and the seller are trying to figure out, will this hold as resistance, will this hold as support, or will it go back to being resistance, right? So this is an important key line here that we had drawn at the, I think at the beginning of the week, maybe even last week, but important critical line to see here. If this holds and bounces off this line here, we can see the VIX spiking up and the market going down, okay? If not, you know, we see it going falling back here, probably back to this line. So this is the VIX. How is Netflix doing? Oh baby, beautiful. What happened to you? You were doing good. It actually got to the high of the recovery yesterday, so it went back to 22. Very nice Netflix, but it lost a lot here quickly because, again, impulsive moves. This is why I always tell you guys, you need a move up or down to be up, consolidation up. When you get an impulsive move like this, you'll get an impulsive move down every single time. So yeah, but looks good so far, almost up 2%, you know. Hopefully we make up this huge drop from yesterday. Angelique saying Tesla is getting cremated because it's Tesla, Angelique, because it's Tesla. Look at this green, the only red on our watch list. Literally the only red on our watch list is Tesla. Tesla is one of those like contrarians, you know, one of those annoying friends you have that, you know, like it will just do the opposite of what you're doing just to spite you, you know, just to be different. It will just do the opposite of anything, you know. Like if the market goes red now, I bet you my lunch money that will just go green just to screw with us, just for the sole reason to screw with us, right? So but let's have a look from a technical analysis. Right, yeah, exactly, right? So we had our support drawn here for Tesla, and obviously it broke through yesterday towards the end of the day and never really recovered. It tried to break through this support line here today pre-market, obviously failed, went down, filled the gap, and it's just like absolutely dying. And we can expect, by the way, Tesla, if it keeps this up, it possibly can try maybe to take the market down with it. Let's have a look at Apple. Apple, again, same thing, just it's been doing its own thing for a while, just consolidating here. Just FYI, guys, because Apple has been showing a lot of relative strength. Market leaders like Apple, right, usually are the last to fall. But when they fall very, very hard, right? Apple eventually will fall, right? If we get an earnings recession, Apple will fall down very, very hard. Everything that has been compressed, all the, the hard, like, let's say, like, it's like when you lift something very heavy on top of your head for a very, very long time, the more you lift it, the weaker you're gonna get, right? And so the same thing goes here for Apple, is that the more it keeps holding up here relative to the market, the bigger the drop is gonna be if the drop comes, right? So let's see how our other players are doing. AMD, little red, right? Again, no biggie. AMD, like I said, so far, like, our thesis would be correct here with AMD, is that if earnings and news and all the stuff come and go, and it stays within this level here, which is what it's been doing so far, honestly, right? So it wasn't really affected that much by the BOE announcement, by the PPI, all this stuff. Like, look at this, right? Yeah, sure, it fell down a little bit, but then recovered immediately. Like, it's just basically just chilling at the spot here between 58 and 56. And if it does this all the way through the earnings season and the FMOC and all that stuff, even if they're bad, I will probably double down on AMD, because that means when the market turns bullish after this, because one way or the other, yeah, sure, we might get a big drop, but we're gonna get, like, after it, a big run after that. One way or the other, we're getting a big run. It's just a matter of when, right? So if that happens, yep, 100% going in for more. Anel said scalp Netflix for a quick 5% today. Good job, my man. Good job. Nice. Very nice. Make that money. See, scalping, fantastic. Perfect for market conditions like the ones we are in today, right? So let's go back to your SPY here and let's see if it did anything useful. And the answer is no. We do have here to be fair to SPY. Whoops. That is one hell of a pull. We have here a much clearer, more defined bull flag, if we're being, fair to SPY here. So I wouldn't say it did not do anything, right? That is something. All we have to do now is we have to wait and see, will the bull flag play out or not? It is still struggling here under the 21 MA. We'll see here a wick and fail here, and again, it wicked here before, now it's trying to go down, and again still wicking under it, right? This does not strike me very much as bullish, despite us having a bullish flag. So again, signs of a choppy day is you're getting very, very conflicting indicators here, right? So not really a play where I want to risk my money, especially if I'm someone with a small account. I would rather save my money for the coming big plays, right? Because what do we have next? What's coming up? For us here, we have the earnings on Friday. We have the CPI tomorrow. These are very big plays. So I would rather skip today, save my cash, and just play tomorrow, right? So because these are potential big 100%, 200%, maybe even 300% moves. So I would rather just save my money for them, right? Why lose it today on a choppy day for a possible 5 to 10% gain when I can make hundreds of percents tomorrow? This is not a knock on anyone else who's scalping, by the way. It really depends on your account size, but my account size is extremely small, so I really can't afford to do something like that. If you're in the same boat as me, if you have a small account, if you're trying to grow it, my recommendation for you is don't waste your firepower on a day like this, because it's choppy now. It might not be choppy after the FMOC minutes. It might not be choppy in an hour. Hey, we might get a huge big candle here that breaks through this and goes up, or vice versa. We don't know yet. So I want to have maximum firepower ready if we do get direction at some point, right? So that being said, what do we have here? Mr. Coolcat asks, wanna buy for Netflix eventually? Yeah, I mean, hey, no rush, right? Like I said, earnings are still far off, right? Like, there is no need to rush here. Let's see. Earnings are still on the 18th, right? You have time, right? You still have time. It's the 12th. You still have a few days. No need to rush. No need to buy anything now, right? We still have a lot of way to go here to the earnings, so you can buy next week. Wait for the price to settle down, get a much more clearer view, right? You can buy now, you can buy a little bit later, really up to you, honestly, right? So right now is a good place to buy. Down here is also a good place to buy. You can wait for this to clear and hold, and then also this would be a good place to buy. uh that is if you like us are expecting, you know, like a bullish move on earnings. So we'll see. What's SPY doing? What's SPY doing? Okay, SPY finally cleared the 21 MA and is now struggling with the 200 MA here and 50 MA as well. So yeah, like I said, it's a horrible place to be stuck in here. We need some nice big volume to just help us clear, break through this 200 MA and just consolidate above it. But again, this is another very bad rejection here, guys. Look, we had one big bad rejection of 200 MA, another bad hard rejection here at the 200 MA, and you can see just knocked it back, just blew past the 50 MA, knocked it back to the 21 MA. So yeah, you don't want to be seeing these kind of wicks. So hopefully the bulls can push through this and push it back up here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. What's the VIX doing? Maybe the VIX can give us an indicator. Yeah, another failure, right? So another failure here. Could not break once, could not break twice, could not break thrice, could not break it 4 times, and for the 5th time, another rejection. And just FYI here, look at this gap. There's a gap fill here. We are about to fill it. If it fails the 21 MA here, it will go down and fill this gap, which means a big move on the SPY, right? So this could be a nice scalping opportunity for calls if VIX does that, right? All right, so Elevado Gamer, sorry. Ash, try out EMA instead of regular MA. The EMA follow the price much closer. There is no MA. So there is, it says here MA, I know, but look at this here, it's the EMA, right? I'm a huge fan of the EMA. There's you can't just get a moving average. It has to be a simple moving average or an exponential moving average, at least on trading view. So yeah, I am using the EMAs. I love the EMAs much more than the SMA. Huge big fan of them, to be honest. All right, let's see here. Another retest of 200 MA, and like we said, guys, this is a time where you want to have like 2 charts open at the same time. You wanna, or you can set up an alert or something. If it starts filling this here, or you basically just get a rejection up here, it will just go down here, fill this gap, which will correspond with probably a bullish move here on the SPY, which is likely a breakthrough and then a big candle of the 200 MA. So high chances of this happening. I think personally it will happen. So let's see. Okay, so clear. Let's see if it can clear this time. We're getting some meh volume, nothing substantial here so far. It's gonna need more firepower, guys. Come on, bulls, come on. Make me look good in front of the chat. Come on, pump it, pump it. All right, so far another wick here. VIX, what you doing? Okay, VIX trying to reclaim the 21 MA. I think it breaks and clears the 200 MA, but if it does not, it will be a very violent move down. One way or the other, we're getting a big move here. There's gonna be a big move up or a big move down, but I don't think it will just hang out there. So let's see what happens here. Another wick on the 200 MA, not a good sign for the bulls. But if you guys look at this here, it's wicked between the 21 MA and 200 MA. Very indecisive market. Why? Because we have very low volume here so far. So no one really pulling it in one direction or the other. This is why, you know, we're not getting any impulsive or decisive moves here so far, right? And we can expect this to continue probably throughout the day, if I'm being honest, right? Like I said, like the market is uncertain. A lot of people, I don't want to say scared, because scared is the wrong word here. They're just waiting to wait. They're waiting out the PPI. They're waiting out the FOMC minutes. They're waiting out CPI tomorrow. They just don't want to play that, or maybe they're waiting to play the CPI tomorrow, which would be the major market mover, right? There is no universe where we just get a bar like this for the CPI, right? It's not going to be a bar like this. It's going to be and I don't expect it to be a bar like the one we had last month, right, which was just like absolute murder, which we got, by the way. If you guys remember, we called it correctly and we got all this big move here. So look at this here, big drop here. I don't think it'll be this was a historical drop. Like I think like there's only a few times, probably in the past like 20 years or so a drop like this happened. It was a big monumental drop. But that being said, is also I don't see it being just this tiny baby drop. And my expectation as to why the PPI was small is, like I said, like the numbers excluding food was zero point 0.3. Also, we had this very bad news from yesterday that kind of jump started the drop here for the SPY. So we already saw some pain yesterday that the market was not expecting. So this is why we probably not get a proper reaction from the PPI. So we'll see. We'll see. But so far, yeah, bad wick here, bad rejection. The 21 MA still holding, right? Bulls are trying, and bulls are gonna fail. Bulls are gonna fail. What you doing, SPY? There you go. So yeah, like I said, like if we fail here, we get a big candle down, right? Because this is the second test and fail of the 200 MA. We're now officially in disgusting chop area. Look at this. Like, look at this disgusting square here, right? We need to get out of this ASAP. We need to have like a pretty meaningful move soon. Yeah, like as expected, guys. Like I said, this fails, we get a big candle down. Like I said, one way or the other, we were getting a big candle. So our big candle was down. I thought it was gonna be up. I thought VIX was gonna, fill the gap. VIX says no. I want to go above this resistance. You don't own me. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a big boy now. Okay, VIX, you want to be a big boy? Be a big boy. Let's see how far you can drop the SPY, right? Because you seem not able to break this resistance support, sorry. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Let's see here what happens. Do we finally get direction in this very boring market? I swear to God, like the past few months, it feels like there's like 1 to 2 days every week where you can play the market, and if you miss them, you're screwed. Like you're gonna get stuck in chop for like all of the week, like you either play these 2 days or you're getting screwed. So yeah, so far so good. At least we're making an effort to get direction. I really don't like this wick forming here. I don't, again, we can expect a retest. That is fine, would not freak me out, but I would really like to see a big breakthrough and a big candle, just to retest in the 52-week lows, which is a much more meaningful line to retest. The one here in the middle is just meh, Angelique says agree 100%. Yep, see, great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. All right, so Netflix losing a lot of its gains. That's fine. At least it's still holding these support, which is something. AMD still within the chop region. That's fine. Although this formation here a little bit concerning, right? So wow, DraftKings just like bleeding out. 3M just chowing along. Delta, again, Delta for the most part choppy here, right? PayPal, so PayPal still hanging around the lines we drew a few days ago, right? Not doing anything much. It fell a lot here at the open, but it just immediately regained it all back. So let's see here. JP Morgan, interesting that JP Morgan has earnings pretty soon, but it is slightly bullish today. But actually, it's like just retesting 200 MA, so it has been trading under 200 MA for a while. Let's have a quick macro view of JP Morgan. I want to see what traders are doing. So we have earnings here, yeah, on the 14th, and chart looks pretty bearish, to be expected. An investment bank not so hot during this area. So are we? Yeah, we're way below the pre-sickness highs. We're actually going here for the pre-sickness lows. Looks like it. Wow, man. If sorry about that, guys. So if JP Morgan actually has bad earnings, it can see a substantial drop here. Let's chart this here for a second, because this can get interesting. So I see definitely a support here. A super strong one, but support nonetheless. And we are currently here, which is at support. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch points here. So yeah, let's add this one. It's pretty much where we're at right now. So we're at 103, and the next support here is at 93. That's almost a $10 move. That's pretty substantial, right? And that goes, and our next support is here, 82. Wow, almost down to the sickness lows if the earnings suck. I don't know. I don't see it dropping that much until the earnings are like absolutely disastrous, like end of the world bad. I think if the earnings are bad, it goes down to 91. Sure. I don't know about the 82, but since I have XLF puts, I really hope 82. So let's see. Microsoft going red here. AMD going really red. Netflix kind of holding its own a little bit. Apple down. Tesla just gave up on life pretty much. Tesla is like, just bring on the 200. Just like, let's get this over with. Like, let's just get it to 200, Ooh, SPY is about to turn red here. Still struggling with the same line. Nice. Okay, so a peek through our support. This is very good. Want to see big knife here, big drop here. Come on, show me volume. Come on, SPY, do something. You're embarrassing yourself, SPY. You are on YouTube in front of a lot of people right now, and you're just making yourself look bad. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, this is not a good look for you, my man. VIX. Okay, so an open over the resistance here. This is good if you're bearish. So ideally we want to see this level here, the high of yesterday, not necessarily today, get taken out. That is 34.4. Very doable, right? Not too hard to do since we open at that level, right? So we see this get taken out, it'll probably run a lot more, which means that the SPY drops a lot more. But so far chop, just chop. Nothing interesting here. Is anyone in any stock that is like making decent moves or anything that looks good? Anyone in anything interesting or has anything interested in their watch list? Maybe you can just put it up here and have a look at it, since SPY is deciding, like it's not its day. It's just big huge wick of the support and back wicking again at 21 MA. Yeah, definitely would not definitely would not take any trades here until we get serious moves. Angelique, I am in and out of Tesla. 210 puts. Yeah, these seem to be the kind of plays today, This does seem to be the kind of plays today. Wow, Tesla's ugly, just pure selling volume, just absolute selling volume. I'm starting to see the 1-day chart. What's going on here with Tesla? So this is the sickness highs, I guess. That's a very weird chart here. Tesla has a gap up to fill here on the 260 level. This would be an interesting one to watch. Earnings very close to the 20th. Oh, the 19th actually. What's 19th? 19th is 1 week from now. Very interesting. Even more interesting is that Tesla is very close to breaking critical support here. Ugly. Really, someone is selling at the price. Possible, Angelique. Definitely not Elon. Definitely not an insider. Definitely no one, because not someone from the company. Because there's a lockup period before earnings, so people can't just like sell or buy stock if they work in the company before earnings, for a good reason, of course, because they have privileged information, inside information, so they're not allowed to buy or sell the stock they buy in. So 100% not Elon, but could be some institution, could be some big institution that is just like liquidating their Tesla position. Someone who has very big holdings, and there's a lot of people, a lot of institutions with very big holdings and Tesla. So that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like we could see it could be selling pressure here, but my guess is that like it just like it's bad expected earnings, right? Like the delivery numbers have been horrible. Tesla for the first time is showing signs that demand is decreasing. I don't personally believe that, and this is a video on its own explaining why I don't think this is the case. I think it's a very temporary thing, but for the first time ever, Tesla is seeing signs that demand is decreasing. For a growth company, this is a death sentence. Tesla is worth what it's worth because people think it will keep growing as time goes by. The moment this does not hold true, then yeah, Tesla will drop like a rock. And we got bad numbers, and for the first time ever, we're seeing a numbers showing us that demand is decreasing or stalling. So I don't think, yeah, I mean, this probably is someone big liquidating, but I don't think it's. I think it's just the numbers. A lot of people are just selling off because of the numbers. Like, excuse me, like look at this big gap we had on the day off, right? So I don't know, it just makes sense to me that it is just like selling because people are worried that the earnings are going to be bad, right? And it makes sense. It's the AMD situation, right? You kind of get a preview of what the earnings will be, right? So it's dying off now because people just expect it to die off when the earnings come, right? AMD showed us their revenues, which were horrible, right? Tesla showed us their car deliveries, which is basically the major metric that you use when you try to decide where Tesla is going or how the earnings will be. So we already know these numbers are bad, right? There's nothing to guess, right? So earnings might come and surprise us a little bit. It could be not as bad as we think they are, but more often than not, they just end up being, as bad as expected. So I would not call this a surprising move or a weird move, or someone big is selling because some weird conspiracy thing is happening. Could be someone big is selling, but I think it's just everyone selling because they're pretty worried about the earnings, right? So what's SPY doing here? Nothing. SPY is doing nothing. SPY is chopping again with this support here, still unable to break support, right? We had a wick here and a body above the support. If this candle closes like this, we'll probably get some nice movement up here. Probably see bulls taking over. If it closes this way, a wick with the body right above the support, this is a pretty bearish indicator here. Sorry, bullish indicator here. So let's see what happens. What's Pix doing? Not doing much, just still hanging around at the same level, right? So let's have a look, guys, at my original watch list, the one that I used to trade my big account with. So I had here the futures. So we have SPY futures a little bit up, NASDAQ a little bit up, gold down 0.5%, makes sense. Just really chopping here, right? We have wheat futures. The reason why I'm looking at wheat futures, in case something happens with the war in Ukraine, right? You can see some sell up here. Could be a nice day trade if you guys are into futures. Right, silver down a lot, makes sense because it ran a lot, so it's just probably giving back its gains. Oil down 2%, probably from that impulsive move here. I feel like, by the way, my like I drew this trend line a while back and it's been respecting it so far, but I don't know. My gut feeling tells me that we might peek through this and test 200 MA here for 96, 97 on oil. Because if you look here at the 1 day chart, we do have a bull flag forming. We might get a bounce off the 50 MA. We're just selling off a little bit of this impulsive move here on the OPEC news. So I think oil has a nice bullish play, possibly, but we'll have to see. T-bond futures, 10 years. We're not doing much, honestly. We have here the Dow Jones. Why are we looking at the 1 day? Let's look at the 5 minutes. Tapping into the butt feelings. Exactly, Smoothie. Right? You have to let the butt take over. The butt needs to take completely over. You have to surrender control to the butt, right? And let the butt guide you, right? Parts and all. All right, commodities. Natty gas up a little bit, oil down, and nothing here. XLF, I'm right here with you. Exactly, Smoothie. Exactly. I can feel it. I can feel the butts uniting together. XLF up a little bit. XLE down a bunch. XLK, which is tech, down a little bit. XLB health sector. By the way, this is the second most heavily weighted sector in the SPY. So the most heavily weighted sector in the SPY is XLK, which is tech. Second most heavily weighted sector is a healthcare. Actually, a lot of people think it's finance, but finance is the third, right? So healthcare up 0.5%. This is something interesting to keep an eye. Requiem for the bus. I know what you're talking about. The last scene at the end. Okay. All right. So XLU utilities down 1%, which is a defensive thing here. You don't want to see this down this much. Real estate down almost 2% today. What's real estate been doing? Just dying. Real estate just falling off the cliff. This is good, guys, by the way. This directly ties in the CPI, PPI number, all the stuff, because specifically CPI, right? Because remember, the numbers were up, like for the most part, because of Trends came in way too hot. So seeing this, of course, it does not change the trends themselves. People are just bearish on it, but it's something, right? So I don't think, of course, like between a month and now we see like this huge drop in rents, but you know, we can only hope. Let's see. So UK not doing so well because central bank decided to just start doing weird things out of nowhere, right? And Liz Truss decided that, you know, interest rate cuts is a good idea, you know, in an inflationary market. So I have no clue what they're doing so far. I can't even I don't understand what they're doing, honestly. So Germany down a little bit, not too bad. Europe is a little bit up. Russia is almost 1% up, good for them. India, up a little bit, right? And we have here Brazil down. I mean, it's Brazil and Mexico up a little bit. Market internals, let's see here. So we have these are all the inflows for all the New York Stock Exchange, right? So again, chop here is not showing us anything. So if we're getting moves like this, that means there's a lot of outflows and you will see the market decreasing with it, and vice versa. Of course, you get these big moves up, that means there's a lot of inflows and people are buying. We are getting absolutely nothing here, right? And probably we'll see the same thing with the ticks. Again, you want to see this or this, and we're right here in the middle, right? ADD, same scenario, right? Pretty choppy. So we're not seeing any buy signals or sell signals anywhere here in the market today, right? So our 10-year note treasury, right? Back for almost an all-time high, right? People are gonna start pricing in for pretty soon, right? Which makes sense because that's our target. 20 years, yeah, who cares about 20 years? Dollar, strong as ever, pretty strong here, right? I think dollar is gonna, like, I mean, not now obviously, but once we're done with the once we get like our the earnings recession over, right? Once we go through all the earnings, I think I'm probably gonna be playing the dollar here because I expect like a big juicy drop once the bull market starts. I think it'll be like an explosive move, and I think the dollar will drop explosively as well with it, right? So Dow Jones, Nasdaq, IMW, small caps, right? So Russell 2000. So small caps are down quite a bit, 1%. But it's funny because most people were expecting it was just like small caps were like the crypto, right? People were like, oh well, like this is gonna be the year of small caps, all the money is gonna rotate from large caps and it's gonna go to small caps, and it just did not rotate anyway, right? They both fell. SPX not doing much. SPY still above that damn line. Sandeep, how's it going? Pam just sitting up. What's up? How's it going, my friend? We're actually talking about the dollar, so I'm gonna repeat this again because I know you're into forex and all that stuff. So we were just saying that basically we expect a huge drop in the dollar once we get a bull run after the earnings recession, right? So I was saying like I expect a violent big drop off in the dollar. So this could be a possible play we can do together, since you're in forex and stuff, right? So our volatility indexes here, VVIX, the volatility of the volatility index, and the vol Q, right, which is the volatility of the Nasdaq. I recently started watching this honestly, and vol Q is, I mean, it's quite handy to have honestly on your watch list. Like paired with the VIX, gives you a much better view of like the outflows and all that stuff. Sandeep says the XY needs to go back to the 90s for a bull market. This is my expectations, but I don't think the XY going to the 90s will give us a bull market. I think the bull market will give us the XY 90s. All right, AMD down, Nvidia down 1.1, right? Intel up a little bit actually. Micron down decently. Marvin down almost 3%. Wow. TSM up a little bit. Tesla down. Neo down. Lucid up. Lucid has been running, if I remember, it even ran yesterday a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. Is Lucid having like, does it have some news or anything upcoming? Remember yesterday it was running all day as well. Right. Rivian down. Fisker down. Apple pretty much, as always, holding the market on its own. Netflix holding its own a little bit. That's nice. Amazon. What's Amazon doing? Amazon and Apple are always nice. I love looking at them on the 1-day chart. They have very weird charts. So we have here, this is the a lot, right? We have here this level 109. And when is our earnings? Our earnings are in 27, right? So if Amazon misses, we can expect a move. Whoa, 81. Wow, that is what, like a $30 drop for Amazon? That is a lot. That will be a very interesting play come the last week. And the last week is a very scary week because I think last week has Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, all the big players just like reporting towards the end of the month, it will just like it'll be the twisting the knife, if they're all bearish. All right, what else do we have here? Anything interesting? Twitter is still hanging around the 50s level, very much to be expected. Surprisingly, the banking sector is doing well. Interesting. JP Morgan up 1.6%. Citi not so much, up 5%. Goldman Sachs up 1%. They all still are testing the 200 MA level on the 5-minute chart, so not something that will cause me to freak out a little bit. And we're slightly bullish for today, so it is what it is. But yeah. Anywho, guys, it is 4:30. We have been streaming now for almost an hour and a half, and I have not slept since yesterday. I really do need to get some sleep. So yeah, no plays for today. That was to be expected, but I really had so much fun hanging out with you guys. Enjoy doing the analysis. Tomorrow is a very, very big day. I'll definitely be in the Discord. I try to be in the Discord at least around 2 p.m. for the FOMC minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. And if you have not liked this video, please do like it. It really, really helps out a lot. When you guys did that yesterday, it really helped out. So thank you if you did. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. Ash out.